All right, guys, what's going on? Captain Cody Davis here. Welcome back to another episode. Here's the deal. What you guys are going to be watching in this video is going to be my tournament video. I'm going to be fishing the ABA out of Clewiston tomorrow. And this is going to be my practice, and it's going to lead into the actual tournament. Excuse me. When I say practice, I got about 4 hours to look around here. Not much time. I already kind of have a game plan. This is more or less just me checking up on things. Just dropped my guide party off, have a couple rods in the boat, just gonna do a little milk run and just see what I can find and check up on what I've got. Feeling okay about it. I haven't fished a big tournament in quite a while, so I do feel a little bit off, if you will. Guiding and tournament fishing are two totally different things, but I've got some good areas that have been good to me over the past couple months, and if I could just milk out a couple good bites out of each one, I should be sitting pretty. So I'll kind of walk you guys through, I don't know, the best I can of what I'm looking for, what I'm doing. Problem is there's a lot of boats out here practicing, so I'm probably going to be shaking a lot of fish off. If I do stick one, I'll probably be leaving the area very quickly, and I don't want anyone to see me catching a fish, so I'll do my best. If I don't do very good, I'll kind of go from this through the fish clips, and then I'll do a breakdown when I get home of kind of what I was looking for and things like that. So, all right, here we go. Got it. Net. He came up and hit twice. What a fish. Get five like that tomorrow, boys. It'd be interesting. All right, guys, so I know that practice day video was very short, boring, and wasn't anything special. I had the head camera rolling for a while and was trying to do a really good job at talking to you guys, showing you what I'm targeting, what I'm looking for, things like that. And I was recording when I didn't think I was, and I wasn't recording when I thought I was. That whole deal happened. I'm sure that's happened to you guys before. So, yeah, I'm trying to get used to the whole head cam. I know you guys are going to recommend a chesty cam to me like everyone else uses, but they just get in my way. They mess up my hook sets, and I'd rather put a big fish in the boat than get it on camera, you know, from a different perspective. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with the head cam. I'm just going to suffer through the headaches and looking like more of an idiot than normal for you guys to try and bring you guys a couple of different angles and stuff. So maybe I'll play with it tomorrow. So thought I'd just come out here and kind of give you guys my game plan. I have one, but I don't. It's funny, I'm actually going to just be kind of running through the same areas that I run all you guys in on my guide trips. There's a couple of key areas that have been good to me. over the past 3 months. And, excuse me, it just seems like not every time, but every couple times I make a pass through one of these areas, when the conditions are right, it's good for at least one big bite. And doesn't mean you always put them in the boat, but that's all I can ask for are the bites tomorrow. You know, we're dealing with a full moon. It's basically summer, the end of March right now. It's going to be like 92 degrees, I think, tomorrow midday, which is crazy. So the water's warming extremely fast. The water's dropping extremely fast. I mean, I'm out there every day, and I'm starting to even notice, like, oh, wow, this is getting real shallow. We have brim and bluegill, shell crackers moving up on the bed. It's kind of a perfect storm. Someone's going to figure this deal out. Someone's going to run across a big old wad of them. And I think it's going to happen pretty quick for everybody. So my whole deal is I'm just going to do this little milk run like I did this today and just really take my time. It's not very many areas, and the areas I do have are small. So I got to just put my head down and not fish too fast, make repeated casts to these certain areas, and, you know, don't be afraid to do a couple of laps, couple figure eights in an area, leave, come back, check it again. Timing is going to be a big thing, I believe. So I think these fish are starting to get into summer mode. I think they're starting to get into bluegill mode, which is my favorite. And I think it's going to take a big bag. I think 27 pounds will win it tomorrow. And the only reason I don't think it's going to take over 30 is I think a lot of those north end guys are going to cannibalize each other. But who the hell knows? Gary Milicevic will probably win it with like 39 pounds, and second place will be 22. Who the heck knows? But anyway, I've got a whole bunch of stuff rigged up. I don't feel like pulling it all out. This locker, I have a super spook. I've got a burner worm on 20-pound fluoro, and I've got a chatterbait. That's 3 of my rods there. You know, that spook, just something to kind of get them going, throw it up to any isolated targets I can find. And the burner worm and the chatterbait kind of play in tune with each other. Just fishing over any deeper submerged eelgrass. If there's any fish that are kind of moving their way out into some deeper water, ticking that eelgrass could be key. I have not really gotten bit doing it, but $5 grand on the line, I'm going to not leave any of those rods at home. On my deck, for first thing in the morning, what I'm going to have is obviously my black and blue swim jig. The lighting's horrible. It's really hard to see, but that's what that fish came on in the video. It's my go-to. That's my confidence bait right there, and it catches big ones. That's probably going to be what I'm throwing 90% of the time first thing in the morning. Secondary is going to be a missile D-bomb with my 3/4 ounce flipping rig. Just tossing that around. I think I only had like 1 or 2 bites on this today, but like I said, I don't leave home without this either. And then a Gambler Big Easy for sure. My clients have been catching a lot of nice fish on this. I've kind of strayed away from throwing it, and that's kind of a mistake. I got to get back into it. And kind of dock talk, this has been what a lot of tournament anglers are getting bid on. This lure right here, and between this and the Spro popping frog that is also tied on in my box over there, is what won the $50,000 in the Bass Pro Derby. I know because my buddy Kale and Brad, they won it, and they ain't gonna lie to me. I saw the GoPro footage. That's what they were eating. So buzzing this across that eelgrass, trying to get a reaction strike. I had 1 or 2 bites on this today. Definitely gonna try and make that happen. So that's what I'm gonna start out with. And then, like I said, I got 3 more rods over there. I got the Spro popping frog. I have a 3/4 ounce Gambler Jigzilla. They better watch out if they start eating that, because I will flip that all day for 5 big bites, and I think that is going to play tomorrow. And a punch rig, 1.5 ounce tungsten with a 5/0 hack attack hook on there. I'll probably flip that Why Not, I'm sorry, Gambler Why Not, Gambler Burn Craw, or that D-bomb on there. A lot of beautiful mats in my areas, and I purposely didn't bring my mat rod because I just didn't want to risk poking one, and I don't even like showing them the bait the day before in the mat, because I'm not a huge believer in shaking fish off, even though I did it today, but I mainly did it today because there was other boats around me. I don't want to show them anything. But in the mats, I do believe those fish will stay there for at least a couple of days. So even if they don't bite it, I don't want to show it to them. Hopefully I go in there, and if there are some fish in the mats to be caught, hopefully, you know, them seeing that bait for the first time will make them jump on it. So that's it. Gonna fish slow. I do have a co-angler tomorrow. Seems like a cool dude. Just seems like he's easy going, go with the flow, which is what I need. and it's going to be super hot. So hopefully we jack them up tomorrow. I'm pretty excited, super stoked. But now I'm ready to go to bed. So when you guys see me tomorrow, it will be tournament takeoff time. So wish us luck.
Limit say for Cody that it's going to weigh. We have a new leader with 19.22 pounds.
All right, guys, post-tournament back at the house. I guess you guys can say that the tournament went well for me because it went the best it possibly could have gone. I ended up winning the damn thing. Super crazy, still kind of speechless, still can't believe it for a few reasons. One, it just means a ton to me to win an ABA event. You know, you're fishing against the best competition out on Lake Okeechobee, the best fishermen on the lake compete in this deal. And these are guys that have been winning tournaments out here for years. And, you know, to take home a win against the best on the lake just means a whole lot to me. And also just can't believe it because I can't believe I won it with the amount of weight I had. I really truly thought I only had about 17 pounds coming into weigh-in, but I ended up having 19.22, which was enough to seal the deal. And if you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I predicted it would take probably about 27 pounds to win. So things just got tough. Things changed. The water level's dropping. The water temperature is spiking. I think it's spiking a little bit too high, too fast, I should say. And we were also fishing on a full moon. So there's a lot of things, little variables that went into it. But hey, I guess it went my way. It was my day. And honestly, could not be happier. I was able to add a little bit of hardware to me and Breezy's trophy case here. The famous Eagle Head trophy, first place trophy there for the ABA. Super excited about this. You know, the money's cool. Yes, that's great. Put it towards this house we were desperately trying to afford, but that guy's going to be with me forever, and it'll be a memorable day for sure. So really cool. I guess we'll go through, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how I won it, what I did, game plan, and I try to give you guys as much detail as possible, but this one might go a little bit longer because I ended up taking home first prize on this one. So this one's kind of important. And it's my first real big win out here on Lake Okeechobee as far as I'm concerned. I've had better fishing days, bigger weights in tournaments, things like that. But competing against the best of the best out here, you know, yesterday and taking it home was just a crazy feeling. So we'll kind of get into it. So before I get into the tackle, I was boat 53 at a 3:30 weigh-in, which was pretty good. I think they had 75 boats in the tournament. So I was, if not the last flight, to next to last flight. And like I mentioned to you guys, I kind of had a milk run, but in the end of the day, back in my mind, I knew I really wanted to settle down in one area. My wife was actually out of town turkey hunting, and you know, I posted on Facebook for any of you guys that follow me on social media. She kept texting me the whole day, the night before, fish slow, because at the end of the day, especially when Lake Okeechobee is tough, that's what it takes to win. And not as much as fishing your baits slow, but not moving your boat. Or even if you are moving your boat, don't blow through an area. Go in, go out. Go in, go out, and just kind of milk it for all it's worth. If you know they're in there, if you catch 5 good ones in there, there's 30 good ones in there. And it's just waiting these fish out, and that's how you win tournaments out here, at least in my experience and her experience and all that. So I've been spending a lot of time on the lake. I've been out there every single day. north end, south end, mid-lake, north end, mid-lake, south end, all over. So you know, a big danger in tournament fishing, especially for me on this lake, is having too much in the back of your head. You know, you make 20 casts in an area and I already think about where I need to go next, as opposed to how I need to switch up my presentation in the spot I'm in to you know, benefit from it. So I kind of didn't want to have too much, and in the back of my head, I had one spot that I really wanted to put all my eggs in and really milk it for all it's worth, and I had a couple other areas that looked good, I knew had potential, knew had fish in them, but I felt like the fish at the first spot were the most catchable, if that makes sense, as long as I could have it alone. I've been going in and out of there guiding for 3 months now. It's been a while, and it's been a good area, and I've caught some big ones in there, but there's been a lot of boat traffic in there also. So I got my co-angler and I told him, you know, kind of what the game plan was. We were going to run there, and I'm boat 53, so I'm almost to the back of the pack. I get there, and there is only one other tournament boat in this spot, and it was a gentleman that I saw in there practicing the day before, so I figured he would be in there. And got in there, and the weather, the conditions were the same as they were the day before in the pre-practice video. The day before, when I caught that good one on camera, I showed you guys, and I pulled the bait away from him. And it was crazy. I got in there, and I had pulled my bait away from a good fish that was waking up to it the day before. And that's kind of right where I wanted to go. With them spawning, you know, these fish will hold in an area for some time. And even if she wasn't there, I had confidence that there were fish back in this back pocket. So kind of made my way through there, took my time. And I remember telling my co-angler, like, get ready, one's going to be here. And my first bite of the morning, throwing a, let's get right into it. First thing in the morning, I was throwing a Gambler Big Easy around. I had a hodgepodge of colors, melon shad, red ear, lane toad. It really didn't matter because I was buzzing this thing as fast as I could on top. Fishing it on a 7.0 Gambler Big Easy hook, 65-pound braid, Shimano reel, and an Arc 7.4 mag heavy Invoker rod. My favorite Big Easy rod and frog rod of all time. And I was buzzing that bait, and I got to that pocket, made the cast, and here she came, and she blew the bait up. She blew the bait up, and I just was so hyped up, I swung way too early, missed the fish entirely. Reeled the bait up, fired the bait back. She ate it again. I set the hook, and somehow never felt the fish, but came back with no Big Easy and no spring on the hook. Really weird deal. Had to sit down, put a new spring lock on the front of my hook, and put a new bait on, fire it in there a third time. She eats the bait again. I set the hook, and I come back with my tail missing. The fourth time, I throw in there again. She gets it, just kamikazes the Big Easy. I let her eat it. She's on there. I set the hook, and this is not a bash on Gambler whatsoever, their product. I've been fishing this Gambler Big Easy hook for 5 years now. You can straighten any hook. I don't care what it is. If you get a fish hooked right, it goes back to my knowledge of saltwater fishing. I don't care how big of a bad of a hook you're using, everything straightens at some point. It can. It doesn't have to do with the hook being bad quality. It has to do with how you hit the fish and where you hit them and the angle and stuff. And the fish had it. I knew she had it. She was between 5 and 6 pounds. And when I swung, it almost felt like I broke off. But what had happened was I had straightened that hook like a nail. And never had that happen before. But in a tournament this big, my first bite, I know it's a big one, and that happens. I thought, I knew, I just didn't, I'm like, that's going to hurt me at some point today. And just had to kind of dust it off, you know, and to keep rolling. So put a new hook on, got situated, and started moving around these backwater areas again. The wind started blowing in at this time. And I got into some areas fishing that needle grass, which you guys will see in the video, where there wasn't as much chop grass on top. And what that meant was I was able to throw what I really wanted to throw a little bit more, which was that black and blue swim jig. I caught that fish on the day before, and this is what I had actually pulled away from that first fish 2 days prior. Rolled around in there, the wind was blowing, making it look right, and I think I caught my first 3 or 4 fish on this black and blue swim jig. And all it is this is a Dirty Jigs No Jack swim jig. I switched between this and that Gambler Goat swim jig. They're the two best ones. I've sewn a black and blue This is a crazy crawl in the back. I switched between this and a Gambler Mega Daddy throughout the day. I don't think it really makes a difference. The whole key, I preach this day in and day out. This Gambler Star Flash skirt that's on this is in June bug color. It's got sprayed laminate in it. You can see it in that light. It's got a little bit of shimmer. They're rounded strands. It gives a bigger profile. I don't know. This is just my confidence deal. It gets bit by big ones, and when they eat a swim jig, you do not lose them. With what happened in the morning, I felt really comfortable throwing this. And I put 3 or 4 fish in the boat with this setup. Again, 65-pound braid, 7/6 medium heavy arc invoker rod with a lot of tip. They let them get the bait. You see in the video, I'm really patient with my fish. When they get it, they are not going to spit your bait out, people, especially on this lake. Our fish are mean, they're aggressive. They're not going to feel that weed guard. Take your time, you'll put more fish in the boat. And ended up catching some nice fish on that. And, you know, started getting a little deal going. I caught probably, I was sitting on 3 fish for a while. And I remember telling my co-angler, you know, they bite in waves here. They'll bite for 10 minutes, and then for 20 minutes, they're dead. Milked my way around, fished, and did a couple figure eights in this area. I think I might have had a couple fish wake up to the swim jig and not eat it. And started making my way out of the pocket to kind of give that pocket a break. Kind of made my way to the outside of this area I was in. And basically the area I'm in, it's a spawning flat. And behind it is a bunch of marshland, which we are not able to access in a bass or flats boat. Airboaters can get back there, but obviously the fish can get back there. And I really think way back in that marsh is where a lot of these fish were going to spawn. I think there was a lot of bait and life back there. And with them dropping the water, I'm catching all these fish on their way out to the main lake, right? So I knew all my fish were going to be post-spawn. I knew they were going to be aggressive for the most part. And I knew they were going to be coming to me out of that marsh all day. So I just really wanted to sit in that area. Kind of made my way to the outside, found a really good looking pocket that just looked great. I threw the Big Easy in there 5 or 6 times. Power pulled down, threw that swim jig in there a couple of times. And it was just one of them spots where you just knew there's a fish in here. And I pulled this rod out of the box. Same thing, Arc 7.4 mag, heavy. Invoker, the old OG one, not even the Invoker Pro, which I'm sorry, those 2 rods were Invoker Pros, I believe. And Spro Poppin' Frog, Killer Gill. Bait that I could just really throw up in that pocket and really milk it, you know, really make a lot of commotion, but let it sit in that strike zone for a long time and just pop this guy around, made a lot of noise in there, and won about 5 pounds, I believe she was. Came up and just hammered it. Super cool, you know, caught that fish, and you know, that was my 4th fish. And now I knew I had to go, but obviously in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, I really needed that first one. And caught that fish, milked that pocket for a while, and then I think I went almost an hour without a bite. And you know, the other boat that was in there had gone and left, another boat had come in and left. And I just knew, like, I know they're in there. Well, I'm not going to go leave fish to find fish. Milled around in there, ended up catching 1 small one on the Big Easy to fill out my limit. And really, I kind of just stayed in there for like another hour before I said, you know what, I've got this other area. I'm going to go check it now while this is kind of, let this settle. Because I don't think anyone's going to come in here and give these fish a break. Ran up north another 2 or 3 miles. I ended up catching... I'm not sure exactly what you're going to see in this video. I'm probably not going to put everything in there. I ended up catching 2 or 3 fish on the Poppin' Frog that did not help me. Maybe 1 more on the Big Easy. And I had about an hour and a half left. And I said, all right, we're going to go finish up where we came from. Ran right back to the juice. I mean, laid down on it, stood up, and we had gotten some cloud cover at this point. So... in the area where I had laid down now, the wind had switched. It's blowing a lot of that chop grass in there. What I mean by chop grass is it's that eel grass. It's been chopped up by the boat props from running in and out of the boat trails, and it's floating on top. So as much as I really wanted to throw the swim jig, as this is tracking through the water, you're catching every piece of blade of eelgrass that's laid on top of the water, and you make a perfect cast. Can't believe you can't get bit. And when you reel your swim jig in, there's 9 pieces of eelgrass blanketed on top. Makes it real hard, makes it annoying, makes it not very efficient to throw. So as much as I wanted to throw that, I said, well, you know what, it's overcast now anyway. These big ones, they should be looking up a little bit. I'm just going to burn this big easy across the top and hope I can run up across a big one. Fourth cast from coming off a pad, I make a round cast around a cattail, buzzing that big easy, and one just, you'll see it in the video, I mean, just blows up on it. She didn't look like she was that big. I knew she was a good one. I knew she was the one I wanted. And she missed it. Killed the bait, topped it, nothing. Reel it in, fire it back in there, buzz it again on top, and she got it. And that was a one, I think 6 pounds. I don't know. I don't remember what she weighed. But she was a big one. Boat swung her in the boat. Obviously, like I said, the hook holds up fine. That one just must have had been a freak thing in the morning. So that was my biggest fish of the tournament. And that made me feel real good. That was my fourth cast from running back in there. So it just gave me confidence again that I just needed to stick it out to the very end, which I planned on doing, but it just had my momentum rolling. So I wasn't sure what I had for weight, but I knew I was sitting okay. I knew I'd probably get a check with the way the lake was fishing, but I thought I was far from winning. Really fished around in there for quite a while, probably another half hour. And, oh, you know what? And I did... we'll backtrack real quick. Another thing that I did catch a couple fish in before I made that move was, if you'll see in the video, there's a bunch of reed heads around. I didn't get a lot of bites in the reed heads, but I did catch a couple, and I caught a couple that did not help me when I went back in the second time, pitching those reed heads with a beaver style bait. This is a Missile D-bomb on here I used with a 3/4 ounce, the Abu Garcia reel, and that Arc 7.6 limited invoker series. Works awesome for this setup. I can't get enough of it. I've been flipping left-handed lately, just something, I don't know, something to switch it up, and kind of like it. So caught a couple fish doing that. I had made so many passes through this hayfield that I thought maybe I was kind of spooking the fish up into the heads maybe a little bit. And that didn't seem to be the case because I didn't get as many bites as I thought I would in there. But I did catch a couple fish, and one fish I did weigh in was... flipping the reeds with that beaver. But anyway, I get back there. I caught a couple that did not help me pitching some stuff. And I almost just said, you know what, I'm just going to flip the rest of the day. But I said, you know what, before I do, let me go back down this back line. With them draining the water out of the marsh, there was a ton of activity back there. Lots of gar, there was tilapia roaming around, there was a trillion white birds catching small shad and little minnows that were getting washed out of there, and there was tons of yearling bass almost schooling on these minnows. Either way, I knew they weren't going to help me, and they were small, but there was activity back there. So I said, let me go make one pass down there. And made one pass going real quick, just burning that big easy on top, and I caught one that was, well, it said 314 on the scale, so I guess it was really almost a 4-pounder. She came up, and I mean, these fish were not sharking this bait whatsoever yesterday. I mean, they were there. And got her in the boat, and then I thought, I made a really nice cull, and that was it. I mean, I fished in there. I had about 20 minutes to go, fished around. I think I caught 2 more shorts, or fish that did not help me whatsoever, and went to weigh-in. And when I went to weigh-in, the morale at the scales was just super low. I mean, all the best guys were there, and I'm asking them 30 what, 30 what's leading, and 17 was leading. Actually, my tournament partner, Kelly, who ended up getting third, he was leading at the time. He had 17 pounds, and no one had him. And I truly thought I had 17, maybe only 16. My fish were just, you'll see in the video, they're so frail. They're very skinny, post-spawn, they're beat up. So they didn't weigh as much as they looked. And when I put them in the bag, I said I had 15. They looked even smaller to me. But then when I got to the scales and he dumped them in that basket, then I got to see how big they really were. And I said, oh, I might have enough, or I might have more. And it was just the craziest feeling walking up there, putting them in the weigh-in basket. I watched those numbers bottom out at 1922, and to look at the bag line, and it's empty. There were 2 people in line, and I knew what they had. And 5 minutes later, he closed the scales, and holy shit, I won my first ABA. It was just super crazy. And it just goes to show that, I mean, in any tournament, I don't care what lake you're on, where in the country you're fishing, you lose a 5, even close to 6-pounder. I mean, it wasn't like, I saw him 4 times. When I say she got the bait, it wasn't like I got a bump. She aired out like a kingfish and looked at me with the Big Easy in her mouth and came down. I got a clear look at her 4 times. Big fish. And when that's your first bite and you have something stupid that you cannot control happen like that, it can cost you your tournament. It can make you mentally spin out, which I'm going to admit it kind of started to, but just kept focused and grinded it out, and it's the big thing. You know, bass fishing is all mental. You know, you can be, it's 80% mental in this. Won the tournament, didn't need that fish after all, which I thought was going to kill me, which was super cool. I wish I did have it, just because then I probably would have had 25 pounds, which is crazy. And just to talk about how different the lake was, that's how I caught my fish. My co-angler, my tournament partner, Kelly, he sight fished all of his fish. He sight fished all of his fish on beds, and he caught 1 5-pounder out of a mat. Which is what I mean. The lake is fishing so different right now. You can catch them doing everything, anything you want to do. It's just putting your mind down and fishing hard and putting your head down and getting it done. So that was it. It was kind of simple, but all these baits definitely came into play. Everything here, from the reels, the line I used, the rods, the hooks, everything you can get at Okeechobee Fishing Headquarters. Mike has it. And the funny thing is, literally all of these baits on these rods are going to really be a factor coming in here to the next couple months as we get into spring. The bluegill, the shell crackers, they're all flooding in to the shallows. The lake is dropping drastically. The water temperature's rising, so the lake's going to get super good, especially for big fish here very soon. Especially that frog, that's going to come into play here very, very, very soon. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. Still can't believe it. Awesome day. That's how I want it. Check it out. You're going to see at least 4 or 5 fish clips at the end of this. And let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, reply, comment with any questions. Like the video. I'm trying to grow this channel. Mainly just for you guys. Like I said, I'm not in this YouTube thing to make money off of YouTube. I make money by you guys booking a trip with me and coming fishing with me so I can show you Lake Okeechobee. I'm not a sellout. I'm not going to get into all these. Like I said, I'm not going to try and catch a fish on a Walmart lure for a YouTube challenge. I mean, this is real fishing on this channel. And hopefully, you know, finally I got a tournament win for you guys on camera. So hope you enjoyed the fish clips. Hopefully I get a new video coming out to you very soon, once I get out on the lake and get to do some fun fishing for myself. And now I'm going to go drink a beer and watch some fishing on TV. So thank you guys for watching. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Tight lines.
He came up and hit twice. Got him? Nice, dude. There's a keeper. Heck yeah, dude. Nice catch. Damn. Jigging?
Yeah, swim jig.
Net. Gotcha, Bubba. Nice shit. Nice shit, dude.
There was gonna be one in there.
Frog? That's a nice one. That's a 6.
I don't know if she's that big. She's 5. 4.5. She's...
There's a nice one. Net. Oh yeah. There.
That's her. That's how they're supposed to get it. Woo! How old and beat up she is, but I'll take her anyway.
Hell yeah.
Yes.